Hello again, welcome to task 3. And in task 3, we are introduced, if I can find it again, we are introduced to the Gatenio tens chart. So this is task 3. Now Gatenio is one of my heroes, and Gatenio is someone who is interested in mathematics, very interested in mathematics, but also is interested in language, and it's really interesting to see and hear the kind of things he's written and how the two things are linked. But anyway, this little chart was created by him, and what it kind of shows you is some different journeys, or this is how I think about it anyways, different journeys of multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1,000, or dividing by 10 and 100 and 1,000, and I hope you'll find it quite useful. So in this video, I'm just going to show you these different journeys that I've asked you to have a look at. And hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, and then you might find this thing quite useful. So it tells you, first of all, the journey shows 0.03 times 2 times 10 times 10 times 10 is equal to 600. And I'm just going to show you using my pen what this means. Okay, and I'll show you some other examples as well that are maybe not here that will give you an idea of what we're talking about. So the first one, we're starting at, it says 0.03 multiplied by 2 times 10 times 10 times 10. So 0.03 is here, and if I multiply that by 2, well, I'm doubling it, and it will give me 0.06. And then if I multiply that by 10, it gives me 0.6. And multiply by 10 again, it gives me 6. And then multiply by 10 again, it gives me 60. So that actually shouldn't say 600, it should say 60. And I'm hoping to change that soon, and I'll fix that. That's very annoying. But anyway, hopefully I'll give you an idea of what this is all about. I'm going to show you some other journeys in this video. I'm actually not going to bother with the ones down the bottom just now. I'm going to make up some of my own. So let's start with 0.8. So I've got 0.8. Let's multiply it by 10, and it will take us to 8. So if we move down this way, it's multiplying by 10 each time. I'll multiply by 10, that gives me the 8. If I multiply by 10 again, that gives me this 80. And let's multiply by 10 again, and that gives me 800. So if I do 0.8 times 10 times 10 times 10, that gives me 800. Okay, so I'm going to come up with another one just now. Let's go for 2. So let's take the number 2. So if I've got 2, let's multiply it first of all by 2. Before I do that, have a think about where my next green circle is going to go on the chart. Okay, so it'll take me to 4. Now, instead of multiplying just by 10, I'm going to multiply by 100. So when you multiply by 10, you would move down 1 row in the chart. So if I multiply by 100, I'm actually going to move down 1, 2 on the chart. So if I multiply 2 times 2 times 100, that will give me 400. Okay, now, next one here I'm going to start with, let me use the red pen this time. I'll start with 1000. So we're starting with 1000. Now next time I'm going to try and go this way. So instead of going down the way, I'm going to try and go up the way. So I've got 1000. I want to get to, let's say I want to get to this 0.1. So there are different ways of doing this. So first of all, if I go here and then here and then here and then here, if I'm going that way, I multiply by 10. So if I'm going the other way, I'll actually be dividing by 10. So I'll be dividing by 10, and I'm doing that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So divide by 10, divide by 10, divide by 10, and divide by 10. So 4 times, and that gives me 0.1. Now, rather than do some other examples, I'm just going to write this one down in some different ways, actually. And I've just rubbed out loads of stuff here with that blue pen. I'd actually quite like to show you here, because it's not all rubbish. So it's this thing here I'm interested in, this 10 to the power of 3, we call this. So 10 to the power of 3. And it says that 10 to the power of 3 is 10 times 10 times 10. That gives you 10 to the power of 3. So what I've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, and I'm dividing by these 4 tens. So instead of multiplying by 10 to the power of 3 here, I'm doing 1000, and I'm dividing by 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, because I've got 4 tens. That will give me 0.1. What I could also do is if I'm dividing by 10 twice, that's the same as dividing by 100. So I'm dividing by 100 and then dividing by 100 again. That gives me 0.1. Or I could just go much quicker. If I'm dividing by 10, then 10, then 10, then 10, I'm actually dividing by 10,000. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros there, which would also give me 0.1. Right, now what you can do is you can check all this stuff with the calculator, see how you get on with it. I would also like you to maybe create some of your own journeys where we're dividing by 10 or 100 or 1000 or even multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1000. If you manage to create any journeys that are not on this grid, that's absolutely fine as well. Just please make sure you're checking with your calculator, which I didn't do for this one here, which I'm very annoyed about. But anyway, see you soon.